If you think you're alone on campus at night, think again. These 4 real college horror stories prove someone or something might be watching you. Every night at 2:30 a.m., I heard footsteps pacing in the empty dorm room above mine. Until one night, the footsteps came down the hallway to my door. Freshman year, I lived in Hawthorne Hall, one of those old, echoing dorms built in the 1960s. My room was on the 3rd floor, directly beneath the 4th floor corner unit. Every night around 2:30 a.m., I heard footsteps pacing back and forth above me. Slow, heavy steps that never changed rhythm. At first, I assumed it was the student upstairs pulling all-nighters, but after a week, the steps became strange. They would start at one corner of the ceiling, walk to the other, pause for 5 seconds, then walk back, over and over. One night I finally asked the RA who lived above me. He frowned. "No one. That room's been empty since last semester." He showed me the roster. Room 414 was vacant. I didn't believe him, so I asked to go up and look. He unlocked the door. The room was freezing. A bed, a desk, a closet, nothing else. Dust coated every surface except for a perfect clean path across the floor. The exact route the footsteps took every night. That night, the pacing didn't happen. Instead, someone knocked on my door at 2:30 a.m. Sharp, steady knocks, 3 times. I looked through the peephole, nothing. But the moment I stepped away, the footsteps above me started again. Next morning, I told the RA I wanted to move. He nodded. Then he told me the truth. The previous occupant of room 414 had suffered severe insomnia. He would walk back and forth every night trying to calm himself, until one night he collapsed. The footsteps stopped for a whole semester, until I moved in under his room. They told us never to go into the library basement after 10 p.m. But the night I heard voices whispering from behind the locked archive door, something inside slammed back. Every college has that one building with weird stories. At Redwood University, it was the library, the basement specifically. The basement had an old, locked room called the archive, where they supposedly kept decades of student records and items no one used anymore. But it wasn't the documents students feared. It was what people heard behind the door. I worked night shifts at the library. One stormy evening, the power flickered and the basement lights dimmed. As I descended the creaking stairs, I heard whispers, soft, frantic, overlapping, coming from the archive door. I froze. The door was supposed to be locked. No one was allowed inside. I called the head librarian. She said, "Stay away from the door. I'll be right there." But while I waited, the whispers grew louder, urgent. Then something heavy slammed into the door from the inside. I sprinted upstairs. The librarian arrived 30 minutes later, annoyed but calm. She led me back down. The archive door was wide open. The lights inside were on, but the room was empty. No boxes, no files, just a bare concrete room with claw-like scratches on the floor. She turned to me and said quietly, "Don't come downstairs after 10 p.m. again." Later, I learned the archive used to store personal belongings of students who disappeared from campus long before digital records existed. And some nights, people still hear them, trying to get out. My college roommate never slept, not once, until housing told me something terrifying. My roommate had moved out a week earlier. Sophomore year, I got stuck with a random roommate named Leo. He wasn't strange at first, quiet, messy, always wearing headphones. But I soon realized something was off. He never slept, not once. Every time I woke up, whether 1 a.m. or 5 a.m., he was sitting on his bed, staring at his laptop screen. Dark, turned off. One night, I pretended to sleep and watched him. He sat perfectly still for hours, hands resting on his knees, eyes open but unfocused. At 3:12 a.m., he whispered, "Are you awake?" I stayed silent. He slowly turned his head toward me. His eyes didn't look normal. Glassy, unfocused, like he wasn't fully there. In the morning, he acted like everything was normal. But that night, he did it again. And this time, he got out of bed. I watched through nearly closed eyelids as he walked to my side of the room, leaned over my face, and whispered, "I'm tired of watching you sleep." I reported him the next day. The housing office told me something that still chills me. "Your roommate moved out last week. You shouldn't have had anyone in your room at all." I insisted someone had been there every night. They checked the cameras. From the day Leo's name was removed from the roster, no one ever entered or left my room except me. I took the campus shuttle at midnight, but halfway through the ride, the driver turned toward the woods, and campus security later said no shuttle was running at all. I attended a college with a campus shuttle that ran until 3 a.m. for students walking back from late classes. Most drivers were friendly, but everyone warned us about the midnight driver, an older man who barely spoke and avoided eye contact. One night after studying late, I missed the main shuttle and had to take his. The interior lights were dim. The driver didn't acknowledge me, just stared straight ahead. I sat in the middle row. A minute into the ride, I noticed something odd. He wasn't taking the normal route. He turned onto a service road leading toward the woods behind campus. This isn't the way to the dorms," I said. He didn't respond. He just kept driving. The trees grew thicker, the lights farther apart. My phone had no signal. Finally, the bus slowed to a stop in the middle of the dark trail. The driver slowly turned his head toward me. His eyes were hollow, sunken, shadowed, lifeless. He whispered, "You shouldn't be out this late." I bolted for the back door, shoved it open, and ran. I followed the faint glow of campus lights until I reached a main road. The next morning, I reported the driver. Campus security looked confused. "None of our shuttles were running last night," they said. I insisted. They checked GPS logs. Every university shuttle had been parked from midnight until 6 a.m., but on the security cameras, at 12:43 a.m., a shuttle drove behind the library, empty. No driver, no passengers, just rolling slowly into the dark. If you enjoy true horror stories like this, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button to see more.